And welcome in to another episode of Off Script. My name is Zak Herbstreit. And ladies and gentlemen, USC fans, spring ball is over. Just like that, it flew by, which is crazy to say, I feel like. But nevertheless, saw a lot of great things out there, from spring practice clips to interviews. All of it was pretty solid in my opinion. So that really brings up the question, what did we learn from USC in spring ball? But before we get into that today, if you enjoy college football, if you enjoy the channel, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel as well. It really helps me a lot, so we appreciate you guys. But let's get right into it here. First things first, the one thing that really jumped out to me, the defense has a different vibe, different feel to it, if you will. And that's really all thanks to one man, Gary Patterson. The Gary Patterson effect has been seen. It has been felt. And like I said from a couple videos ago, he has a very hands-on approach compared to other coaches around the country. And I feel like the biggest thing he does well is he shows the why. He shows why these players should be doing these reps or these particular drills or something like that. So they're not just out there wasting their time. I feel like he's very adamant and methodical in his way of coaching, which I really appreciate and I love to watch. Watching these practice clips, seeing him out there, I'm like, wow. And another thing here, he loves to just bounce around, too. He's bouncing around from the defensive line to the linebackers to the secondary. So, he's not always in one spot. He's really making sure everyone's getting coaching, which a lot of times in college football, at least around the country, you don't see that anymore. So seeing that in full force, and it wasn't just one practice, too. It's all the practices, multiple practices. He's getting out there. He's showing them how to do the reps. So really, really encouraging for a defensive coordinator. In my opinion, I feel like he's raised the ceiling of the potential of this defense by just giving these guys confidence, showing them the why, showing them what to do, how to do it. Really, really encouraging for this defense this upcoming fall. But what I'd like to see out of this defense this upcoming fall is just making their presence known earlier. I feel like last year and years prior, it kind of takes a minute for this USC defense to get going. I feel like the first, second quarter, they're kind of a little lackadaisical. Not every game, but, just the general gist of this defense has been kind of like that. So getting to the quarterback early, getting some PBUs early, just making them feel you early, I think is going to be monumental for this USC defense this upcoming year and just throughout the entire Big Ten. If you can just get on these Big Ten offenses early, plus, it takes pressure off your own offense, not have to score as many points, put them in position to be like, hey, our defense isn't getting a stop here, so we need to score here. You don't want to be in that position at all. So I think getting out early, starting early, making your presence felt is going to be huge for this USC team. And then another thing here, I'm particularly excited about this linebacker room. I know that was a big question mark going into spring, but right now it's a linebacker den. Mike Eckler, the linebackers coach, calls the room the den, says there's a bunch of freaking lions in there, guys that want to go out there and hunt. Put their head in the ball, just get nasty. So as a fan, I'm hearing that. I'm like, yep, I love it. I absolutely love that. And even Lincoln Riley is high on this room, loves the depth of the position, says it really gives them the ability to swap bodies without really having to take a step back talent-wise. So if I'm hearing that, I know it was a little big question mark going into spring, like who's going to play where, but the fact that you have depth and all these guys are kind of at the same level, and that's promising. It really is. So God forbid someone gets injured, but someone goes down, like I'm not too worried about, pairing a spare, throwing another guy in there. So I know they're young. I know they're a little inexperienced, but having these practice reps right now and under this Gary Patterson defense, and I trust Gary Patterson will get them right too. So really, really excited what that position group will be later on this fall. But that brings me into my next point here, depth at positions. Really, I don't think it's crazy to say this is probably one of the most talented rosters, at least on paper, in the Big Ten. And I think it's really safe to say that recruiting is paying off, and we're seeing it all around the field. And particularly for me, when I was looking at spring and spring ball, the offensive line was really showing depth. Like I said, the linebackers, the den was showing depth. The receiver room was really showing depth, especially with guys injured and these young guys stepping up in the receivers room. That was really promising for me. And then also the tight end room. So really, for a team that has 17 returning starters, 9 on offense and 8 on defense, having that depth behind you, really, I think down the road, once you get to kind of game 10, 11, 12, that's when the depth shows. So, like I said, God forbid someone gets injured or something like that, but when something like that does happen, because, it's football, injuries happen, I'm not too worried about crazy changes at positions. My next point here, and this is probably the biggest point, There's just an overall mindset change. The past couple years, I feel like this USC team has been about potential. You bring a guy in, you bring a coach in, you bring a player in. Hey, he potentially could be good for us. Hey, he's got potential to be really, really good. I don't want to hear that anymore. And I don't really feel that vibe anymore from USC either. From the spring, I feel like it's more like, hey, he's going to be good. This guy, he's going to be good for us. Which, night and day, like you don't think it's a big switch, but it is. It really is a big switch, especially in football. And I feel like this is such a veteran team who's tired of the outside noise, who's tired from the media being like, hey, well, what's the excuse now, USC, if you guys don't win? Like, there's not. I think this team's just like, all right, guys, I don't want to hear it. Like, let me just go out there, let me play football, and let me win. I want to win. This team is hungry. That's probably the biggest thing. You can feel the hunger throughout the interviews they do, throughout all this. That's probably the biggest thing I'm seeing right now. So, USC fans, let me know what you guys think. Spring ball is over, like I said. I want to hear your biggest thoughts, opinions overall. But like I said, this is Off Script. My name's Zak Herbstreit. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video. I'll see you guys soon.